Can you dig it?
I can totally dig it. We're talking Bears football tonight.
Yeah.
Welcome back, everyone, to Windy City Digits, where you can catch us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and now Spotify.
Woohoo!
So you can catch us on all those platforms. So
way to go, Coach.
Thanks everyone for tuning in. Whether you're watching us live tonight or if you're watching us on YouTube on a replay or listening to the podcast in your car on Spotify, we do appreciate you guys checking us out.
Digit 80 is coming to my mind.
And why is that?
Because the Bears had to get down to 80 roster spots.
Cut down day. They had to let go 5 players today.
What's up, Crowley?
What's
the
up,
Crow.
Crowley?
He is the Crow.
So we got down to 80 players. Honestly, the only name that I saw, I only recognized one name.
That's all you recognize. You know what's interesting is that we were just looking up what all the NFL teams have to get down to.
Yep.
I'm going to share it so everybody out there knows. Look at that.
Those of you listening on Spotify, you'll just have to follow along.
Yeah, from August 23rd, we're going from 80 to next week on the 30th. We're cutting down to 53 all across the NFL. All across the country, guys. We're going global next year.
We are, huh?
Yeah, you got the golden dome on your head. We just draw a map and we'll find our way.
Should I put a big Notre Dame touchdown Jesus on top of my head?
Yeah, Crowley would like that, man. Yo, Skokes.
Skokes, what's going on, brother?
Skoke, what's up?
So,
all right, so what do you...
We're going to focus on Bears football tonight. We're going to start with the cuts. We cut down 5 guys today.
Kind of excited me, actually, the one guy.
Daz Newsome was the one guy I was disappointed that got cut, but I know he's been making a lot of mistakes.
Well, of course you would, because I think you actually literally said that he was your pick to click at one point too.
He was. He was until today.
You got all excited about him.
I did.
And then as soon as you put your faith and support behind him, he started getting, butterfingers.
Look, even Getsy said he's the hardest working guy in camp.
The hardest working guy got cut.
So, that was a little disappointing. Jeffrey, what's going on? Thanks for checking in.
I thought Fields was the hardest working guy, according to some of the guys on the Bears. So
I'm just telling you what Getsy said.
They're just shoveling you stuff, man. They're trying to work the guys' egos, make them feel good about themselves, and then they're going to cut them.
Yes, Coach, you were at camp, kind of seeing them up close in person. I know he had a big drop the other day. That might have been the one thing that kind of sealed his fate, but
53. Man.
Yeah.
That's that junior high, man.
I'm trying to teach the kids a lesson here, Crowley. Hard work pays off. So guess not in this case, but so anyway, so we got down to 80. We're going to have to cut 27 more guys a week from today.
I know. Isn't that crazy?
Okay, so here's a part that I don't understand, and I don't know how they're going to do that, because Eberflus said today, I texted you this, I sent you the tweet today. Eberflus said in his press conference that the starters were pretty much going to play a half.
We're going to that already, man.
Listen, it kind of ties into it, right? I mean, how do you evaluate the other 27 guys you're going to cut if the starters are going to play a half?
Well,
right?
Well, let's see. Let's look at this here.
Hey, DR, what's going on? Thanks for checking in. Well,
we did hear about that. I've heard rumors again that the Bears still are trying to shop Tevin Jenkins, but what I see with this Bears management is they're not just going to trade someone without a good value. So as much as they might be trying to trade Tevin, I don't think they're going to end up doing it.
Yeah.
Well, it's a good point. I actually thought the Bears should play their players because they've got so many people that have barely played together. How could you go? I think it's almost, if they didn't play today, they literally would be going 3 weeks without playing live against another team. That's a long time, man, especially for a bunch of rookies that have not played with each other.
Yeah. Well, look, I think it's the right thing, right? They got to have time out there. Yes, coach. Look, you've been out there at training camp. They probably do have a good idea. Um, the guys, the guys that are going to play the second half are probably the guys that are on the bubble, right? The guys that are out there are probably going to be the guys that are playing for those special teams positions, backup positions, right? Um, and look, even that case, when they do cut downs next week, some of these guys still might get cut because Vic and I were talking about this offline that teams like the Eagles, who have a ton of offensive linemen, if they cut some of those guys, we might be picking up some of these guys that other teams cut. So,
Yeah, and we're eighth on the waivers, so there's a good chance that we do pick up somebody.
so this is why we kind of like doing the lives because we like this interaction. Vic and I kind of have a plan, but let's go with this, right? Like what J
That's what I
Wack here.
just. That's
Thanks for
what I
checking
just
in.
put up there,
All
man.
right, man. I
I
didn't
already
see
put it
that.
up there. How can
Thanks
you
for
not
checking in.
see it? It's right below our windows.
So I got my screen looking at something else, but thanks for checking in.
Ah, boy, mental. Kyler Gordon. So that's his man. Who's your guy? Who's your guy? Pick one rookie, you guys. Who's the guy that you're excited about?
I got to go with Kyler.
Shoot. Yeah,
Yeah, I think
that's your man.
Kyler. Who's the other
That's your
rookie I'm thinking
rookie.
of? Why do I always forget the other rookie's name?
It's Brisker, man. Brisker
Jaquan
is the
Brisker.
guy.
Jaquan
Yeah.
Brisker. Yeah, I think Brisker. They look
You always you always forget Komet, quite honestly.
but
So
no,
yeah,
you said rookies. The three rookies I'm definitely
I
looking
did.
at,
Yeah.
right, would be Brisker,
Yo,
um,
Mikey.
Jones,
Yo,
right,
Mikey. She's got it.
and
I
Gordon.
don't know why I'm singing that song, man. Yeah. Yeah. I'm going Brisker. I think most people would be excited about Brisker. So do you guys think Brisker's going to start week 1 after that thumb surgery? Because I doubt it. I know they're saying he possibly is going to be ready.
It's just a thumb. I don't see why the kids can't wrap the
It's
thing up.
just that he plays like smash mouth football, so I'm sure they're going to be nervous about him wrecking it more. I think that'd
Uh,
be the one concern I'd have, and then he's out, even longer.
yeah.
Crowley
Well, we'll
says
see.
no. All right, so my other one, my second one would be Velas Jr.
Do you think he starts on return? He's the main return guy to start
Abso-freaking-lutely.
both kickoffs and punts.
I don't know how you can't do that. That guy's got top notch speed, man. He has elite speed right off the get go. He doesn't even need to get warmed up. It's like, man, he's like a Ferrari. Go 0 to 60 in like 2 seconds.
Yeah. Totally.
Wouldn't you agree? Is he a Ferrari? Is he a Corvette? What is he? Is he a Porsche?
Well, look, as far as I'm concerned, he's still in the showroom floor. Like he looks good in the showroom,
He's in the
right?
showroom floor, man.
I got to see him out on the street. I got to see him like what he can do out on the course, right?
Well, we only saw him one game, so I'm hoping that the next game, this next
Yeah.
preseason game, we see some more action from him. But he
Yeah.
He was not practicing today.
He didn't practice today.
He did not practice today.
Okay.
Yeah, there were quite a few guys that didn't practice today that I'm kind of worried about.
So, Dr, you said you're a Packers guy, right? And we appreciate you being here. We welcome everybody, even Packer fans. Thanks for checking in, right? Look, I think that's going to be a good combination between Montgomery and Herbert, right? And I think the offensive line is going to surprise some people.
I hope so, man. Because they're, there's been some Twitter questions about who's going to be the worst team in the NFL. The Bears are popping up by a lot of other people as being at the bottom, and I don't see it.
I don't see it either.
You know what? From what I saw in these 2 preseason games, from what I've heard from coaching staff and these guys, I feel like this team is going to overperform.
In what sense? Like, does it translate into more wins than what you expected?
I do. I think they're going to be very competitive, stronger than people think. I mean, it might not all translate into wins, but I still like our original picks about 9-8 or an 8-9. I still hold to that.
Um, all right, so let me let me pose this out here to you and to everyone else that's watching here, right? Um,
Yeah.
we really haven't seen what Getsy's bringing. I mean, we've seen bits and pieces,
No, and they don't want to
right?
show that.
No, but I mean, like, I think it's
They
hard
want
to
to
really judge the offense or the offensive line or the receivers until we see what the offense is really going to look like, right? Um,
absolutely.
so like until we see like maybe 2 or 3 games in and see what the offense is going to look like. I mean, look, we could have Justin Fields playing a short game. He could be throwing deep. He could be on the rollout a lot. We just don't know what we're going to get. We just know it's going to be better than what we had with Nagy. At least we hope so.
We hope so too. You know what? Most of Fields' throws this preseason have been under, I think, 5 yards.
You think so?
Or no, not okay. I take that back. Average, average have been 5 yards and under. Um, I mean, he hasn't thrown a lot, but yes, it's actually worse than last season.
That last drive that he played in that first drive in Seattle. I mean, he had a couple deep throws. I mean, he had a couple deep to Komet.
That's what I read, man.
You know,
And some
um,
people were saying, "Hey, it's the preseason," and it was like Carl texted me and telling me it's the preseason when I'm bored at watching the preseason. He goes, "It's the preseason, Vic." I'm like, "Duh,
yeah,
it's
Crowley's
still
right.
boring."
No need to
That's
throw
right.
deep in preseason.
They do not want to show their cards either. They don't want to show their full playbook.
Yeah, yeah. Look, Skokes, I think you're right. Like the fact that I don't even know. I didn't look at Cleveland today. They've already got their own.
Cleveland. Who
They've
wants
got
to
their
live in
own.
Cleveland?
No, I mean they have their own set of problems, but like you don't even know who's going to play quarterback for them. You don't know how long their starters are going to play. I mean, literally, Fields could be playing a half, but if we're playing against the second team the whole time, and again, I don't think we're going to show a whole lot. I think we're going to run a lot of basic plays. I don't think we're going to run anything really like too crazy.
I
Don't you
like to
think?
see the run. I like to see the running game a little bit more too.
How long do
But
you
I
think
like to see
Montgomery's?
Montgomery play a little
Yeah,
bit. Yeah,
yeah,
and I
I
hear
agree with that.
Roquan is playing preseason.
Yeah,
They're playing. From what I'm reading, 25 to 30 snaps. That's even better than the second preseason game.
yeah. So let's see this take Dr. Listen, thanks for you're bringing a lot of good info for us tonight. We appreciate it. Um, so look, Dr. Maybe you can more on that. Getsy really was more the offensive coach, right? He didn't call any plays or anything, but he definitely seemed to have a good impact, a big impact on the players there. And look,
I
based
thought
on
he
what
was calling. I thought he was calling more of the plays towards the end of the year
he called
with Rod.
preseason, he called preseason stuff.
I thought towards the end of the year he was calling plays for Green Bay. Am I
But
mistaken?
I don't know. I didn't follow him that much last year as far as like
Mm.
who called the plays or not. But look, if you look at Green Bay this year, I mean, look, Rodgers hasn't played, but Jordan Love's a mess. Um, and
Yeah, I know that.
that whole receiving core is a mess too. So,
You don't
um,
like Sammy Watkins?
I don't know. Look, I'm not going to deny like Aaron Rodgers has killed us all the time, and he's a great quarterback. But
He's
I
a
don't know
bear
about
killer.
that. I don't know about the receiving core that he's got
Did
to
you
work with this year.
did you know Rodgers has only won 11? I want to say postseason games, and Mahomes has already won 8.
That sounds about right.
Just a little fun fact there for you guys.
Oh, hey, look, at least he's had that many playoff games. Look, he's had 8 playoff wins. I can't even count out last time how long it's taken us to get 8 playoff wins total,
Yeah, I'm
right?
not. Yeah. As much as I want to, like, always give Green Bay Packers, you know,
So there's your answer.
heat. Alan Lazar is good, man. I had him for fantasy. He was not a bad guy.
Yeah.
Nope,
So
that's yeah. I picked him up off waivers last year. Hey, so what Bears are you looking forward to seeing this third preseason game. And what do you guys want to see from the Bears um, starting core?
Are you asking me? Or are you asking the?
I'm asking you and everybody else. I mean, we did it for the second game. I'm wondering if you want to see anything a little different this time, this come around.
Um, I I think
Health.
for the most part,
Crowley doesn't want him playing. Crowley would bench them all.
let me just check the depth
Are
chart
you
real
bench?
quick.
Are you guys benching your guys in this game, or do you want them to have some cohesiveness going into that first game? Hey, Sanborn, that was a heck of a draft pick. Yep,
Yeah.
no need. See, I don't agree with Crowley on this one. I understand wanting to be healthy. I just don't. I just think as lousy as the Bears were last year, they need the practice in
I
real
think
game time, man.
I think they just need the game time reps because it's a new offense, it's a new defense. I get the idea that we don't want anyone to get hurt, right?
I
Um,
don't want it either.
but
A flea flicker, man. All right, so this is
trick play.
yeah. Who didn't play this when you were playing with your buddies, man? Playing football. Who didn't have a flea flicker in there?
You call it like on first down, try to surprise the other team, but they
I
can
don't
see it
know.
coming a mile away.
All right, here. This is a great statement by Crowley here. What do you think about that?
I I respectfully disagree.
I actually disagree too because a lot of these guys are trying to make any team. They're not just trying out for their present team. They're I think they're going all out, man.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, obviously, if they're playing against the second team, the first team for the Bears, then yeah, then I can see what you're saying.
So okay, so Dr. Interesting with this. I think the one thing I'm looking forward to if they all play at the same time, like I want to see that linebacking core play together. I want to see Roquan, Morrow, and Mohammed, that starting three linebacking core. I want to see how they perform this week and just kind of adjust because we're going to a 4-3. We were a 3-4 before, right?
Crowley, yeah, you don't want him to play. That's what I said.
So
He's just-
Crowley, you're always on the ball, man. But like, I want to see the linebacking core. I want to see those guys play together. And it'll be interesting with Roquan back in the mix to see where we're at, right? And
yeah,
DR
I
brings
want
up a
to.
good pointer with the defensive line too. So
I'd like to see some other wide receivers stand out. Are we going to see Tajay Sharp, Aquaman? I mean, what are we going to look at? Coulter actually showed something, and so did I don't know how to say his name, Simba Webster. Those two
okay,
were those were impressive guys too. I have not. Um, it would be just nice to see if someone just shines out a little bit more on that receiving core, especially with Pringle out. And when Pringle comes back, what's that going to mean for somebody? Is he going to automatically start uh, getting in some reps with the first team, or is he going to have to battle back for his slot back?
uh, I think it totally depends on how the team is playing at that point, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look, if Velas
Cheers, Dr. Thank you.
if Velas kind of establishes himself and a couple of these other wide receivers step up, like if uh, St. Brown, what you call him, Aquaman, if he steps up and is having
Yeah.
a big season, then I think you got to kind of rethink where his position is in that depth chart, right? But
Yeah.
I also think it opens things up, right? Like it gives you another option. You can run a lot more different plays if the other guys are stepping up,
Mm-hmm.
right?
And you know what's nice about our offensive line, even though people say it's not very strong, we have more depth than we did last year. So even if Borum starts, Jenkins starts, we're looking at a couple veterans coming in as backups right now in Reef and Schofield. That is not what we had last year. We had an old 41-year-old Peters playing the right side of our line last year, who quite frankly did pretty good for his age.
Yeah, considering they called him off a fishing boat in Texas to sign a contract, and he hadn't even been training at that point.
Well, isn't that why you're working out at Bears Fit to try and get like a little contract there, man?
I got my Bears fit. Yeah, I've been working. I was working out there with Montgomery and Mooney over the summer. So
Oh,
not the name drop,
it was just the three of you.
not the name drop, but saw
Wow.
those guys working. So hey, do you think Blasting Game plays this week? Did you hear anything about him playing?
Honestly, we saw him on the sideline with a cast, so I'm not really sure. I don't think he's definitely not in any danger of losing his position, but I don't know what's wrong with him because, like we've talked about, they don't really say what is wrong. I'm gonna look him up actually. What's wrong with him?
Yeah, no one's really said anything. It's been kind of like a mystery injury. Um, the one guy that's been really quiet in preseason,
Who, man? Oh, hey,
Bojack.
hey, just to let you know, Blazing Game had returned to practice.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Bojack,
So
Eddie Jackson, he's been incredibly quiet.
hasn't he? What are you saying about that? Are you worried about that?
I don't know.
Do
Is
you think
that
that's a bad thing?
I think it's reason for concern, don't you?
Because generally he's an outspoken guy.
That's true, Jeffrey. All these rough, yeah. If Bob Orton can wrestle with Cast, he'll be good to go. Um, I just think he's just incredibly quiet. I don't know. Like I would think that he would have they would have called his number a little bit more over the course of the preseason. I get he hasn't played a whole lot, but um, you don't hear his name when they call tackles or defending plays. You hear Brisker, you hear Gordon, right? Um,
Well, yeah, no, I agree. It looks like Khalil Herbert is back as well. We did hear David Moore was out.
he's hurt, right?
Yep, and it sounds like Lucas Patrick is expected back for the opener. So
Yeah.
that's also really good news. So does he automatically does he automatically jump in there as center
Yes,
without a doubt, right?
without a doubt.
Because is it Mustafa right now? Is
Yeah,
that who I'm talking about? And
Mustafa is the starting runner. Yeah.
and people have been just grilling Mustafa for his play.
Look, I think of two things, right? And one, he knows Getsy's offense, and he's going to be able to help. Two, he's going to be able to help Justin Fields because he's going to be able to make the line calls. And I think I've talked about this before. Like he's going to know what the play is. He's going to know the lineup. He's going to know who should be blocked, who needs to get
Hmm.
blocked. So I think him being back in and making the line calls is going to be huge.
I really want to see better pressure on the quarterback this next game. That's what I want to see. I said it last time. I don't think they really uh, have shown much pressure on the quarterback.
I don't think again because I don't think they're trying to show their hand. Like I don't think they've run any blitzes. I think it's just been straight up rushes. I
Hmm.
don't think they've run any corner blitzes, any zone blitzes. I don't think they've run any of that stuff.
Are you
Uh,
concerned about the Bears' ability to stop the run?
no,
Skokes has got a great point here because we talked about this before we jumped on about other people's cuts. You guys see anybody out there that you guys have liked so far that have been cut? Like Tate, Auden Tate from the Falcons. He's 25 years old. He had one really good season with Cincinnati.
well,
46 blitzes.
look, I guess it's one of two things, right, Skokes, and
Butt
I don't know.
kiss.
Maybe you can comment on this, right? It's look, those guys are being cut from a team for a reason, just like Daz was being cut today for a reason, right? He didn't play well, right? So if it's a team like Philadelphia where they got a ton of offensive linemen and it's just a numbers game,
Yes, then yeah, by all means.
I think you're looking at one of those guys, right? But like, look, there's a guy like OBJ still on the street, right? I,
I'd still sign him, man.
yeah, you take a flyer on that guy for a year, right?
I'd rather sign him, and yeah, because we got the cash. Let's do it. Let's get OBJ. Let's start a petition.
You just can't sign up for too much money because you're going to piss off Roquan, I guess. So,
We're gonna franchise him anyways.
which he says he'd be happy with. So, um,
I know, double his cash.
yeah, look, look, I've been kind of checking out a couple other cities and their channels, and um, Denver seems to be a mess right now. Seattle's a mess. Cleveland, obviously, with the whole Deshaun Watson thing. Those three cities are like super worried about their teams and their rosters, right? Um,
Mm-hmm.
you know, um, yeah, like yeah, I would take a shot on Rieger also, right? Some of these guys I think are worth taking a shot, but at the same time, I would also say like on the offensive line, unless you get a complete stud, right? I'm not taking a spot away from Jenkins. I'm not taking a spot away from Braxton Jones.
Talking about
Um,
studs, right here, buddy.
I'm sorry, did you
Go
say
ahead.
something?
You can keep on finishing with your comments, man.
Crowley's in his house laughing hysterically right now. So, um, no, look, I don't think I would take it. I get we want to get some of these guys in here to make the team a little bit better, but I'm not taking an offensive lineman just for the sake of taking an offensive lineman. Like I'm not taking a spot away from Braxton Jones or
I don't think anybody's
Tevin
gonna do.
Jenkins.
Do you see the Bears doing that? It's not gonna happen. I don't see the Bears making a poor decision like that anyway.
The only spot that seems to be where look, you may want to add depth, right? Like you may want to
Mm-hmm.
bring a guy in as um, look, we don't know how Patrick is, right? He got hurt early. You don't know if he's going to make it through the 16 games. Are you going to be happy with Mustafa as your backup,
Yeah, only they know.
right? So that's what
But
I think
I,
we gotta.
but I think I have faith in them right now. The way they've been handling stuff up.
Uh, it's not quite AKME trust level yet, like with the Bulls, but
It is not, but
it's getting
and honestly,
close.
with the way they handled Roquan so far, I'm pretty happy with it. And also with
Tevin Jenkins.
Tevin Jenkins, I feel like they lit a fire under him.
So
So
look, what do you guys think about the roster right now, as it is right now? Like, are you pretty happy? I know the national media likes to bash polls and saying they didn't do enough to protect Fields and everything, but through the first two preseason games, I'm kind of happy with what we got right now.
the Bears still could have picked up a decent wide receiver, and but I do. They had so many spots to fill. I don't know, man. And maybe they see a wide receiver in the future, or they're confident they're going to sign a wide receiver next offseason.
So look, okay, like through the draft, right? I mean, through the draft, we got Brisker, we got Gordon, we got Velus Jones with the first three picks that we had this year, right? Are you saying, based on what you've seen so far, you would still have rather them gone for a wide receiver ahead of those guys?
No, not right now. No.
So you
Wait,
think,
at the draft time, I literally thought, just like like most people thought, that they should have went for a offensive lineman or a wide receiver. That's what I was thinking.
Jeffrey brings up a good point too, right? So 77 players from that era, from the last regime of their Pace and Nagy, we're down to 29 players left, right? And even some of those like Montgomery, right, and Fields and Roquan. Yeah, look, any team that would have drafted those guys, they probably would have done well, right? But a lot of that, like Daz Newsom was another guy that recently, that got cut today. There's not many guys left, right? And I don't even know how many of those guys are those 29. I don't even know how many of those 29 guys are even starting.
I have no idea.
Right?
You should work on that, man.
I'll work on those numbers. I'll do
We'll
that
tweet it out.
research, right?
Yeah, we'll have a whole segment on it.
Yeah, look, I don't know. What do you want to see? Like, Vic, what do you want to see from the team in the first half? The starters in the first half. in Cleveland?
I like to see, as much as we said, I like to see some more downfield play. I like to see Fields rolling out, but I'd also like to see some good runs. I want to see some a little bit of Montgomery since we haven't seen him much with the new offensive line. I think they need to get used to the offensive line needs to get used to the runners, a different type of runner. And then just the defensive pressure. I want to see defensive pressure to the quarterback. But like you said, I don't know if we're going to see that necessarily. So they can
What
contain the run and get some short drives from Cleveland, then I'm happy.
would you like to see? Like, look, if there would it make you happy? Like, okay, again, without running any blitzes, and they're not able to get any pressure on the quarterback. Like, do you think that's going to be a bad sign that the fact we're going to be relying more on the blitz to get any kind of pressure?
No, not necessarily, because that means our team is probably trying to make sure that we don't give up the big play, which usually kills us against the Packers. So I think there's a lot of teams that they just try not to give up the big play. So they don't care so much about the yardage. They care more about when they get down to the red zone and keeping them out for touchdown. So we'll see. We'll see what their philosophy is. Alan
Yeah,
Williams' philosophy.
yeah. Look,
Raiders
hey,
trash. Hey,
Storm checking
Storm.
in.
Storm's coming in.
Storm's always stirring it up, which is always great. So, look, I think Skokes
No
has
one
got a good
saw
thing
that.
here. Skokes has
Rieger's
Sko-
trash.
Skokes has got a good point, right? I like the way Getsy's been calling the plays. I like the flow. I like the rhythm that he kind of gets into. The play gets in early. Um, Justin Fields is able to get to the line early enough with like 15, 20 seconds on the clock. He's able to make the read and see the defense where it's lining up. I want to see that continue. Like I want to see that play calling rhythm kind of continue. See how they manage that. Getting the personnel in and out of the field. And credit to Eberflus, right, and the coaches. The first two games have been clean, like super clean, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No delay of game penalties, no calling timeouts because they don't have the right play in. They're getting personnel in and out properly, quickly, right?
Mm-hmm.
So listen, Storm, the only guy that I would say out there in Philly, and I've mentioned this before, there's a linebacker on Philly, TJ Edwards. I know
Oh
his
my
dad.
God.
That's guy's my favorite player in Philly, and I hope he succeeds still. I would love to see him in a Bears uniform someday. I don't know if that'll happen. He's got a 1-year contract this year, but 1-year extension. But I hope he plays well. So now you got everybody calling him E-Plurals,
Who, me? It
Yeah.
wasn't me. It was somebody else that said it, and I've been
Maybe
using
it
it.
was Jeffrey.
I think it was Jeffrey. So
So
I like that. We need to get a shirt made of that.
yeah, we probably should do that. Maybe we should copyright that, right?
I think it's a great idea. We'll make it on the front and the back. His real name on the back.
Yeah.
How people say his name on the front, like Jeffrey.
Yeah, exactly. So,
All
right. So tomorrow night we are not going to be doing Wildcard Wednesday tomorrow night. I'm going to be at the Cubs game tomorrow night for my son's birthday. So we will not be doing a live tomorrow night. We'll probably be back with another video on Thursday. We'll obviously try to do something after the Bears game on Saturday. But if you haven't heard yet, we are now on Spotify. So if you don't get a chance to catch us live or catch our videos, you can catch our podcast there on Spotify. Listen to it in the car. And we do appreciate everyone's been tuning in on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. We do appreciate everyone. And again, for our regulars, I don't know if you guys heard this yet, Jeffrey, Skokes, Storm, Crowley, we got a little something special in the tank for you guys. So
what's he going to say?
Just pay attention. Pay attention. So
you want a Snickers?
Yeah. Well, let's not go there. But thanks everyone for tuning in tonight. We do appreciate you guys being here. If you haven't had a chance to hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the bell, get notified of future episodes.
It. I dig it.
We will see you guys in the next video. Take care. Peace.
Love.
And digits.